RNN Solar Day 2017 is brought to you by the following: Rhode Island College, Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses, WB Mason Office Supplies, the 10th Annual Boston Green Fest, Clean Energy Development, Carolyn Sakonnet Vineyard, and the Arpin Group.
Thank you so much for staying with us again, Belcourt of Newport. So good to welcome the Honorable Harry Winthrop. Good to see you again. Thanks so much for coming back, for hosting us, for providing, actually, on a great day, beautiful weather as well. Newport hospitality at its best.
Thank you very much, Peter. As I said earlier, I'm taking credit for the weather because I get blamed for everything else. So
yes, you do, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
I hate to say it. And I think I said Curtis Genga,
Yeah.
Director of Properties for the Preservation Society of Newport, and obviously you do a wonderful job here with your facilities, and we're going to talk about what else you can do. But before we do that, feeling pretty good today, hearing a lot of good things, seeing some remarkable transformation going on.
Oh, the difference in this building is like night and day from the last time that I was in here. I think it's tremendous. It's just another example of the investment that's being done in Newport. Just here along Bellevue Avenue, you've got this particular property. You got Mrs. Astor's Beechwood. You've got the preservation properties that are constantly being upgraded and invested in. You've got the drain building at a $20 million investment, and the Tennis Hall of Fame, and that's just on Bellevue Avenue.
Tennis Hall of Fame, which hosted us for some shows.
They did. That was 4 or 5 years back.
Has a tremendous story. And Ken, one of the things that you're always thinking about, and maybe Newport, amongst all the cities and towns, municipalities in Rhode Island, unbelievable eco-capital to work with and preserve.
Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, the preservation efforts here in Newport far surpass, I believe, any place else in the United States.
If I could just throw in here, about a week ago or earlier in June, there was a tour of the green infrastructure installations on Aquidneck Island, including the city of Newport. And again, Aquidneck Island and the city of Newport are ahead of the game. That's part of the whole universe of sustainability.
Right. Everything that we're doing now in terms of upgrade of our own facilities, it has a green component to it.
And it starts to blend into how you promote, how the brand of Newport as a world-class small resort on the East Coast of the United States grows in stature. Curtis, your background, what is some of the work that you've done here?
Well, I've been with the Preservation Society for 26 years, 27 years actually. I started in 1970.
So you're a rookie, huh?
I'm a rookie.
You're a rookie.
Just starting out. I worked in the preservation field. My father was a preservation contractor in town. We restored about 30, 40 homes on the Ocean Drive. And I came to work at I started an energy conservation business in '75 when my father laid us all off because of the energy crisis. And we insulated homes, added solar energy to buildings back then.
Wow.
Now there's a sort of compatibility or relationship between one of your buildings and also this building in terms of geothermal, and maybe even the same architect was involved.
Same architect involved at the breakers. Way back when, 1895. We're adding geothermal to the breakers presently.
One of the mansions here?
Yeah, the breakers in Newport.
Yep.
About 90 tons of geothermal, 120 wells. And we're just laying out the heat pumps right now in the basement. We're using all the original air ducts inside the building. We're not modifying the building in any way.
We had a fortunate time with Curtis. We had a tour of the breakers of the basement, and looking at the way back when the geothermal installation that Richard Morris Hunt had put in that building at that time.
Correct.
Well, I'm sorry we can't bring people down into the basement here. To think about them moving that equipment and installing it in that tiny space is unbelievable. Oh. So we're on Bellevue Avenue,
yep.
And tourists come from all over the world. Incredible array of mansions. Talk about those facilities, how they're investing in green, how they're transforming. Are they using renewables? Will they? Should they?
Oh, absolutely. I think we don't just rush into a building and start making modifications. We do a 3 or 4 year study. So we'll put in, we call them hobos, little devices that measure temperature, humidity, and then we monitor that for 3 years. and then decide what it is we want to accomplish. Typically, we want to take the humidity out, especially in the basements. That just filters up into the building, and change the environment inside the building so it's friendly.
And it's important, you know, not only for the building itself, but also for the woodwork, the tapestries, the upholstery, the window treatments.
Exactly. That's what we're looking to preserve, is the contents.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As you think about what's going on in this segment, so historic buildings with new innovation, new investment, talk about Newport in general, your economy, your embracing of renewables, of clean energy, of clean tech, maybe even of smart cities, and how that's shaping not just the environment, which is beautiful, but the economy here.
Right. Well, as we were talking earlier, or the comment was made earlier, that the fastest growing population in terms of jobs is in green infrastructure. And
do you see that here?
Most definitely. I mean, you have this building which has the geothermal. Right across the street, a private residence, Maramar's geothermal. Right up the street, Mrs. Astor's Beechwood, geothermal. What they're doing at the breakers. So I mean, you see it everywhere. So it's really a tremendous asset here to the city. The city itself, we have solar arrays over at our wastewater treatment plant that provides about 15% of all the power to operate that facility.
How long has that been in place?
That's been in place for about 2 years.
Was that a big investment, or?
I don't remember the exact price off the top of my head, but I mean, we were going to get a payback within 5 years.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so it was really a good investment on our part. We also looking to partner with a private developer to put in a microgrid that's going to be solar powered. That's going to power our main police station, main fire station, the police station, Newport Hospital, and City Hall.
And explain, right, a microgrid, and Ken, welcome to jump in. It's complex, right? It takes in energy from a lot of sources, there's storage, and it optimizes delivery and the use even of the grid, right?
You're right, it is complex. It's more complex than I can explain to you right here, quite honestly.
But what you looked at is what? That it gives you some energy independence, resilience, redundancy?
It's really for resilience. You know, if we have a major storm and the power goes out, the critical facilities will be operational, including the hospital.
And when will that be done?
We're in the process right now of working with a developer to come up with that, but I'm hoping in the next 4 to 5 years.
Mayor, do you have storage capacity with that?
There will be storage capacity.
Meaning energy batteries.
Right.
And how do you, I'm just curious how you fund something like that. So in West Warwick, as an example, which got to 100% renewable here in Rhode Island, they did bonds and they invested heavily in wind. How do you?
This is going to be a public-private partnership. We're going to have private money that will come in that we will pay back based on the savings. So.
And Curtis, thinking about all the tourists, right? We're here in the summer. This place gets jammed up. What impact, if any, and Mayor, you can jump in, what impact, if any, does all of this have on them as they enjoy coming here, as they go through the buildings, as they spend time here? What kind of impact does it have?
Well, I mean, we're an educational institution, so we're teaching about energy conservation, how to take care of a restored old building and how to take care of it. We teach maintenance. We teach a lot about what we're doing at the Preservation Society. We're seeing about over 1 million visits a year to the building.
How do you go about financing your energy initiatives?
We do fundraising. Fundraising is what we've been doing. We get grants for it.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. So we had a larger discussion about this is a component here in Rhode Island that's part of the success, but now we have to deal with transportation as an example. Newport, right now, one of the lanes is shut down on the bridge, gets pretty congested. What else is going on here? Electrification, car charging stations, more trolleys, more buses, more mass transit. How do you handle the congestion going forward?
Well, buses are a big mode of transportation to get people here to the city. And as you know, they have the Providence to Newport ferry, which brings thousands and thousands of visitors.
And there's a small one, right, from Jamestown, another island as well?
The one from Jamestown is more of a tourist, shuttle back and forth. It doesn't move the numbers, the large numbers of people like will be moved
From Providence,
from Providence.
from a major city.
Correct, correct. So we have that. You know, unfortunately, we don't have the train connectivity. We do have track all the way out to the Sakonnet River. There's nothing across the Sakonnet River, so we cannot bring people in from the Boston area across there. Be a significant, you know, significant investment to get there.
Yep.
So that's something that's been talked about over the years. That's something that I think would be a tremendous asset to the city, but I think we're a long, long way away from that happening.
Well, kudos to you both. I mean, when I think about the progress, right, Ken, that Newport has made, and that commitment to microgrids, that's the next technology. Right. That is the next wave. And in terms of you being here on an island, resilience is a big deal. Well, when we get back, we're going to shift our attention. We touched on it earlier. We're going to talk about one of the major, and it's at a landfill, we're going to talk about one of the major solar projects, which produces, I think it's 6 megawatts or more. Why is that important to a state like Rhode Island or a region like New England, and how do we replicate that? Give us a minute. We'll be right back on RNN.
In 1973, the University of Delaware builds Solar One, one of the world's first photovoltaic PV-powered residences.